Today on In the Wood Yard, we're going to fill that bin. We've got hard maple and it needs to be smallerized. Here we go. So yesterday I cleaned up a little bit of the tree service wood and some of the free wood that we got right in front of me here. If you can see where the wolf ridge is sitting, we moved that out. And then we cleaned up a lot of the debris because I got a lot of it done. And my plan was to clean all this up today, to rake this up and then start cutting on this stuff and to get this area done because I want to build another bin here. But I just got a text from one of my loggers, and they got another load of hard maple for me, and I want another load of hard maple, and they want to bring it in 3 days. What that means is I need to get some work done. So this pile right here is hard maple, well, mostly hard maple. It's probably 95% hard maple. There's a little bit of ash, a little bit of soft maple, a little bit of ironwood, and I am going to at least process, I think, this section right here. Maybe some of that, clear that up because they got another load of hard maple coming. I won't be able to get this all done. I mean, but I've got 3 days. So if I really hammer it, I might be able to get this done by myself, which I think I could do if my body can handle it because it's a lot of work. But I'm going to get as much of this done as I can over the next 3 days because I got another load coming and I want to have it put right here. So I'm going to be taking all the ash, like this is ash right in here. I'm going to take this, set it over there out of the way. I see there's a couple sticks of ash down in there. I'll put that over here too, because that doesn't need to be done. I got ash and ash coming out my ash. And then there's a couple sticks of cherry. I'll pull that out. And then I'm going to process as much as I can of this hard maple. And then we're going to take it back into where you saw the elevator where I started back there. We're going to put it into that bin. And then we're going to get another load put in here. So I already went and I swapped out the bucket off and put the grapple on the tractor. I moved the basket into place. I just swapped out the wedge. There was the 4-way in here and I just put in, it's sort of over there. I just put in the 8-way and yeah, I just did it manually. I just throw that one out and then I lift this one up here and I slide it in. It's hard, but I can do it without the tractor. But it's faster actually without the tractor. And I need to exercise anyway because I'm a rotten bag of old moldy oatmeal. And then I got my battery pack out and my sharpener because the chain needs to be sharpened and I think, yeah, it needs to be tightened. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to get to loading the live deck and making little pieces of wood. So there's tensioners in the back. It's just a bolt and there's a block that goes up and down. And so I just tightened that up. I did run the bar vertically and then I just tighten it up. Once you get it tight, you got to check for tightness because as you tighten, the chain can tighten too. So, and you want to wear gloves doing this. I learned that the hard way because one time I was fixing the chain or tightening the chain on the 22MB when I had it, and my hand slipped and I punched the chain and I cut my knuckle across 2 fingers. I got infection pretty bad. It got all pussy and was pretty bad because apparently the bar oil is not good for your hide, skin, stuff like that. Oh, and then you reconnect this is the oiler. Here we go. So I got it tight and I think I got it tensioned pretty good. It feels good. About like a chainsaw, you want it to be able to move a little bit, but not so tight that it doesn't move, but not so loose that it falls off. But all you need is 2 wrenches. I got this little 9/16 with the ratcheting head. I use the 1/2 inch on the back, and I moved the bar over up above here. If I can aim this up, you can see I moved this over because we had it set for boiler wood, and I moved it over another 4 inches from 2 slots over. So now it's set at 16 again. thought today, because I haven't done one of these in a while, and there were some neat things or different things that happened about the processing with this batch of hard maple, is that I thought I'd do a little voiceover. So here we go. So yeah, the first cut there, and you can see these pieces are a little bigger than what I would like. If you can see the one sitting on top of the wedge there. So as we go here, you're going to see me doing some resplits. Yeah, the hard maple is awesome stuff to cut. It's definitely some of the hardest wood there is to cut. And a lot of people that cut softer woods like Doug fir or spruce or popple or cottonwood, if that's the only kind of, or pine, if that's the only kind of wood they have, it's a whole new experience when you cut stuff like this, because mixed in with this hard maple there's some ironwood here, and they call it ironwood for a reason. It is iron. It cuts very hard. It's very dense, slow growing understory tree, but it is awesome firewood. So here I'm just chucking the rounds back in, or the splits back in. And one guy on the channel told me, why don't you just throw all of them back in and split them? Well, the problem is, what happens is, if you throw all of them in, some of the splits are going to just go off to the sides and not even get resplit. So I find by doing one at a time, maybe two at a time, throwing it down into the chamber, and that way you're hitting the very main center of the wedge, the main post that goes top to bottom, you're hitting that at least. And then with ones like that are more of a horizontal, you can see it got split 3 times there. So you're going to get more splits that way, which is what I want. I want the smaller bundle grade type wood, the billets, the stuff that my customers want for the fireplaces. If I was processing boiler wood, which I have done, then I would use the 4-way wedge, and I would just split them either into halves or quarters. But most of the people I sell to, like a lot of you know, they want pieces they can pick up with one hand. Wood that actually has flame to it. Yeah, you could just throw a whole big round in. It's going to burn slowly and eventually, but it's not much fun. So here I'm bringing the tip tray out. People have been asking me, how come you don't use the tip tray, or the last cut tray, I guess is what it's technically called. I don't know, just on the bigger ones, yeah, I use it. Smaller ones, it's easier just to reach in. That one I should have flipped over a little bit. Kind of got a little sideways there. Now I got some of those splits you see standing up. That's going to cause a problem here, and that's kind of why I left this in. It's going to get jammed right here, right there. So all you do then is you raise your wedge up, clear it off so it's not pushing against it, and then you just slide underneath. Now I'm going to have some resplits to do because I raised the wedge up, but at least it cleared itself off. And for those of you that are looking at getting a processor, I can tell you one of the huge things to look for is to be able to get at the wood. If you're in a booth, it makes it almost impossible to make decent wood. Yeah, you can make wood fast, and yeah, you can crush it through and not worry about it, but then later on you got to deal with it. You're also going to create a lot of trash if you just crush it through. And a lot of processors where you don't have access to the splitting chamber to be able to resplit pieces like this, you're kind of just going to have to do it later. Whereas here, I can have it all done ahead of time as I go, which for a small operation is really nice. Here, this is an ugly looking one. Watch, that's just ugly. Here I'm going to have to spin it around. This is obviously a processor that doesn't have a roller. So you just reach in and roll it over. It's no big deal. It takes about the same amount of time. But yeah, it's kind of ugly wood here. Some of the stuff going through is not exactly what you would pick, but it makes good firewood. You can see the wedge floating there. So what it does is it allows the wood to, or the wedges to follow the grain instead of just crushing it through, which is a much easier way of doing it. When I first started with this, with the splitter, the 1412, I wasn't sure what the whole floating wedge thing was, but then once I used it, I was like, holy smokes, I don't get jams. I mean, it's very rare that you get a jam in there, whereas in other processors, you got to climb up in there, pound on the thing, get a chainsaw out, cut it loose, because you cannot loosen it. Whereas here, the wedge just floats by and you just shove the piece through. But yeah, it works really good. So here the wedge is up a little higher, so you're just getting like a single split on there. You're bringing another log in. And yeah, you got to manually flip the bar up. That was something somebody else was saying. How come you always got to flip the bar up? Well, because you do, because it's a manual lever control. So yeah, it's splitting away here. You're getting a little bit of trash. You can see some stuff folding back there, but that's okay. We'll just use it for kindling. That's a nice looking log there. You get stuff like that, makes nice pieces, nice and even, nice and straight. If all the wood was like that, it would be awesome. But unfortunately, trees don't grow perfect. There's very few perfect trees. When you go to say a logging show or a firewood show, you're going to see a lot of processors running stuff like this. It's because it makes the processor look really good, or it makes their splitter look really good. It just really goes through the knives really well. It cuts really well. It's a nice straight cut. Here I'm bringing in the last cut tray, and you can see it's going to drop in, and then you clamp it. And if you're fast enough, you can clamp it before it hits the tray or before it drops into your splitting chamber. But that's kind of risky. I've done it, and a lot of times you'll miss it and it'll fall in there, and then you gotta crawl in there and pull it out. Here I probably should have had the last cut tray forward and then pulled it back, and it would have fell in evenly instead of having to reach in. But I find because it's so easy to get in there and reach around and grab stuff, it just works well. Hey, this piece right here, this is a piece of ironwood, and that's a nice size one. They don't usually get real big. That's actually just a really nice one. Generally, they're usually a little smaller. I've seen them maybe twice as big as that, but not much. So this tree right here, like I said, it's an understory tree, very slow growing. That tree right there, it's possible that it's, I would say, a good 60 to 80 years old. They just don't grow very fast. I've counted the rings on a few bigger ones, and I've had some bigger ones that were 120, 130, 140 years, and they're not even twice as big as that. They just grow real slow, but it puts out a lot of BTUs for firewood, for heat. That stuff is just awesome. If I remember correctly, it's like 28 or 29 million BTUs per ton, whereas oak is 23. So it's quite a bit better, and hard maple is 24. Locust is like 27. So yeah, it's just really good wood. Yeah, and sometimes the roller won't go all the way through, so you got to reach in and pull it in. Then we got another piece coming down the infeed tray here. Smaller one, obviously. Now this is back to a piece of hard maple. And some people say that the measuring stick that's out there, all it is a marker, just like a sidewalk marker or a plow marker. It works just fine. It's not a big deal. I don't know. There's stops they make for them too, and some of the other models and all. The next model I'm going to be getting in a while here from Blockbuster. I'm getting a 1520 real soon, and that is going to have a stop on it, so you'll have a stopper for the length of your cut, which would be kind of cool too. So, but this works for a small operation. This processor would serve so many people so well. It's very affordable. The starting price on it is like 32 or 33,000, and it just works fantastic. Very easy to use, very easy to tow, not very heavy. It's really a nice machine. I've talked to guys that have used them for decades, and they absolutely love them. There you go, there's the last split. We're going to speed things up a little bit here right now and get things moving. Look at that, I made a little dent in the pile. Things are going swimmingly. Had a few altercations with a couple logs that didn't cooperate that I had to turn around because I had a big crotch that wanted to go through on a dry end, and it wouldn't go through because I had a bunch of other stuff in there. So I had to raise up the wedge, flip it around, and have the cut side go in first, which made a big difference. But look at the size of these. I've been doing very, very few resplits, but this stuff is just awesome sized. If you look at the stuff in the trailer here, all the way from this size up to about this size, so haven't done hardly any resplits at all. As you can see, I got a load on, and now it's time to go run it up, put it in the bin. there it is. The one load is in the bin. I just moved the elevator over so I can kind of fill this spot because this is old stuff here, but I think I got enough room there. And as you can see, I chucked off some of the bigger ones that are right over here. I could have put those up. They're not that bad, but I can easily do resplits on these, and I'll do that with each batch. You see there's just a little bit of trash in here. Not bad at all. And one of the things a lot of people don't realize is that when you've got a multiple wedge, you're going to get more cutting going on, and you're going to get more debris. If you had just a single wedge, it's pretty clean. I'm running the 8-way, and the big difference between this machine and other machines I've run and other machines that I've seen is that if you've got a splitting speed that's just super fast with the ram, I noticed that on the all wood and the Evo and some of the other machines that are like 2-second cycle time from the time they're in and out, it doesn't give the wood a chance to kind of work its way along the grain, and it just crushes the wood and it cuts it, and you get lots of debris. I noticed when I was looking at the all wood splitter that was running at one of the shows, there was this much debris from about a dozen splits. It just crushes the wood. So that's one of the benefits of a little slower cycle time. And if you got a fast cycle time, yeah, you're saving some time, but you're also creating a lot more trash. So take that for what it is. That's just how it works. But there, we got a good start. Looking at this, I got enough for one more there, one more here. So I can do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6 loads in the trailer, which is about 4 face cords, probably a little more than that, 4.5, which means it's going to get me easily a semi-load will fit into this bin right here. And that's about what I've got over there. So maybe I get all this in and then I've got room for some more. Now I've got another load coming in 3 days, so I'm hoping to get as much done as I can over the next couple days and get this bin filled up and get that opened up so we can get some more wood in. So that is the plan. Back to work. I'm getting to be tired. So there's the first 2 loads are in there. I moved the elevator over here, kind of going to go the other direction, and I've got my 3rd load here. I don't know, I didn't start until late morning. I don't even know what time it was when I got here, 10. I don't even know what time it is now. It must be 5:30, 6, I don't even know. Haven't looked in a while. All I know is I'm really hungry and I'm really tired. That's enough for one day. I would love to get this unloaded and then hit it again tomorrow, but I think what I'm going to do is relax a little bit. I think I might even have a couple of adult beverages, strong ones tonight. I'm going to unload this in the morning, and I've got to probably do another load or 2 tomorrow, I think. And I also might even be going on a road trip tomorrow. I might be heading up to Logger Jason's. He's got something for me that I've been looking for. He found something that I've been wanting. It's an attachment. That might happen tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Just depends on what I get done. I'll be back then, tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. I'll be right here waiting for you. You better show up because I'm going to be here. Good night, Irene.